What's up, YouTube fam? It's your host with the most, the face that runs the place, the champ that runs the campus back with another video. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, guys, I got some announcements to make. Number one, we are 133 subscribers strong on this channel. I want to say a special thank you to everyone that has continued to watch and support me as I continue to grow this channel, this brand, this label. I love you guys. I appreciate everything that you've done, from every comment to every like to every share. Number two, and probably the most exciting thing about these group of announcements is I have nine guests lined up between now, not tonight, but now and the end of this year. We got some pretty big people coming on. I think so, at least. I'm not going to disclose any names. They know who they are. And if they're watching us, thank you in advance. I really appreciate the effort. But tonight, we're not talking about them. Tonight, we're talking about something a little bit more personal to yours truly. That is skin color. Guys, let me tell you something. When I was younger, growing up as a black male, one of the most difficult things for me to understand is that some people will treat you differently based on how your skin complexion is. What was harder for me to understand was that your own people sometimes treat you differently depending on how dark of a shade you are. Melanin is a very beautiful thing. I want people to know that off top. I think melanin is a great thing. Who doesn't love chocolate, right? Well, apparently some of the people I ran into when I was younger did not. Um, just to give you some examples, the traumatic things are the jokes that people make, the names like, oh, you're an African booty scratcher. I'm not gonna lie, that's still funny to this day. It's just the fact that you look back on it, it's like how inappropriate that was, how scarring that was. That could have been for that kid that might not had a loving dad and loving mother at home that was going through some abuse, right? Then we've got the, oh, you're a tar baby. Look, I haven't been called that personally, but I've heard other people that have been called that were a darker complexion, and basically anyone that's closer to my complexion that I've heard in my social group that I've been exposed to when I was younger. Things like, you're dark as hell, and just being darker was almost as if you were penalized being a young boy or girl, maybe growing up. And I'm not afraid to speak on it. I'm just speaking on my personal experiences. I had a friend that would always make this joke out of everyone in the group, and we're not friends any longer. Like, we don't speak to this day. But he would always say, because I would wear button downs when we go out and do stuff, or just when I would go over and play video games at his house. And we had some like a big group of friends, like 5, 6 guys. That's the darkest one in the group. And he would always say, "Man, you know what, John? You look so well put together, so well kept. You look like you could be a doctor," which is, in hindsight, yeah, that's a great compliment. And then it would take a turn for the worst, or a left turn. He would say, "Man, you look like a Dr. Kunta Kente." Now, of course, guys, if we all know, we've watched Roots by now, you know where that your name comes from. And I always wondered why he would make that joke with me, and me specifically, because he would never make this joke with anyone else in the group. Everyone else was lighter than me. I would assume now that I look back on it, especially because of the convenience of the title of this video. Maybe it was because I was of a darker shade. One of the other things that were really difficult for me growing up, being darker complexion at least, and I keep doing this, guys, these things are getting long, man. I'm gonna have to trim them. But anyway, one of the other things used to be, well, dating was difficult to a degree. Back at the time I was growing up, I remember Chris Brown, T.I. were the big guys in town. They were the hot artists, and all the women, all the girls, they loved them. Wayne was still a big thing too, of course. But man, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard women in my own community, just another black woman, whether she's darker than me or lighter, would say things such as, like, "You're cute and all, you're nice and all, but like, you're just too dark for me." I promise you, I have heard that on more than one occasion. And if I'm being honest, I've heard that more than 10 times. And that's just from me being in the wrong place at the wrong time, me approaching, of course, and then also from what I would hear from other people, and of course, in association with me being around other people. But dating was one of those difficult things for me. And it would make you question, is something wrong with me? Minus the fact that if you watch my previous videos, you know I was not the average black guy. Anyway, I was not the average bear. I was not the stereotypical black guy. I'm probably still not now, and that's okay. It makes me unique. But it will also make me wonder when I was younger, you know, why did I come out this way? Like I would ask God sometimes when I was younger. Like why? Why God? Why Lord? Why did you make me this way? What was the purpose behind this? Now, of course, I have faith in God, of course, and I would never doubt that He doesn't have anything but good things intentioned or good things planned for me. But at an early age, I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. So, looking back on all of that, and now that I think about it, you know, I look at people that post pictures online, black men, black women, maybe that might be close to my skin complexion. You know, I used to wonder why they put on so many different filters. It might just be because of the traumatic experiences they might have had when they were growing up like me. Some people never got out of it. Some people never grew out of it. I'll be honest with you guys. Man, I used to have, I guess you could say, self-esteem issues. So that's what I diagnosed it as, because I really had those confidence issues really in certain areas and certain social situations. Like sometimes I used to think, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it is what it is. We're honest here on the channel. We keep it 100 at all times. You know, I used to think like, well, dang, man, maybe if I was lighter, that probably wouldn't have happened to me like that. Because I've seen things. I've seen some of my own people treat people of different shades better or sometimes worse, depending on how much darker or lighter you are. I've seen that. Hey, come back. Hey, look, guys, look, before we end the video officially, I want to add a few things. I didn't even think about this. That's on me. I'm a little tired tonight. I had a math professor, a math teacher. I forgot her name, and I wouldn't even put her on blast like this. But I remember she brought up a topic of discussion, and it was called the brown paper bag test. Never heard that in my life. And I think the way it went was, if the daughter of a, two-parent household brought a black man home, if his skin was not lighter than a brown paper bag, she could not date him, or they wouldn't accept him as part of the family if they were to become married, or if they were to become serious. And I didn't know such thing existed, but I want to add that because that's some of the things, like I said, I've experienced, and if anyone else has, please feel free to relate. And just to hit that point home, I had another professor, I keep saying professor, I'm sorry, academic person, teacher, thank you, that's academic person, not even reach out, we just started conversing one day, and maybe they just were saying what was on their mind, not saying that they preferred a certain skin tone, but I remember hearing, the closer you are, because this person was black themselves, the closer you are to white, the more right you are. And I did not realize how significant that was at the time, and I didn't realize within maybe even our own community, it's just my personal opinion sometimes, and now I don't see it as much, but when I was growing up, it just did seem like the lighter you were, the lighter our own people would treat you. To an extent, they wouldn't joke with you in certain ways. They wouldn't try you in certain ways. And if anything, it's almost as if they would roll out the red carpet for you. But again, I'm just, black man on YouTube speaking. That's it. Those personal experiences. Now, this is the end of the video. See y'all soon.